now going to start letter A, which is the engine compartment, so we have to open the hood. Okay, every hood latch is different. This one happens to be like this. We pull it down. We have to reach in and get it out from under the little hook that it's on. I've already done the other side, so now I can open the hood. Okay, every motor is different. You have to look for each individual part. I start with my exhaust. It is properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. The clamps are in place, they're not loose, and I would be looking for soot or rust that would indicate a leak. Down here is our alternator. It is properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is belt driven. The belt is properly mounted and secured, not cut, cracked, or frayed, and there's no more than 1/2 to 3/4 inch play in the center. The wires on the back, properly mounted and secured, not cut, cracked, or frayed, none missing. The overall view of my hoses and wires, everything is properly mounted and secured, not cut, cracked, or frayed, and I see no visible or hear no audible leaks. Okay, on the driver's side of the motor, we're going to start with our coolant reservoir. It is properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. The cap's on tight, and it's between the add and full level. There are also no leaks. That brings us to our water pump. It is properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It's also belt driven. The belt is not cut, cracked, or frayed, and there's no more than 1/2 to 3/4 inch play at the center. Our air compressor, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is gear driven. We have to follow our hoses off of our power steering pump reservoir to find our power steering pump. This one happens to be hidden behind the frame, but it is gear driven and it is properly mounted and secured with no leaks. We have our oil dipstick. With our motor off, we will pull this out, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull it out again to check it. If we need to, we're going to add 1 gallon increments at a time in the oil fill cap, which is also properly mounted and secured, and the cap is on tight. That brings us to our power steering reservoir. It is properly mounted and secure, not broken, cracked, or damaged. There's no leaks. It's between the add and full level, and the cap is on tight. That takes us to our steering assembly. The hose, properly mounted and secured, not cut, cracked, or frayed. The clamps are on tight, and there's no leaks. Our steering shaft with U-joints, top and bottom, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. The steering shaft itself is not bent, and there's no debris around the U-joints. Our gearbox, power steering gearbox, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no visible leaks. Steering linkage, our pitman arm, our drag link, and our tie rod end, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It's not bent in any way. The castle nuts with cotter keys are present. That takes us to our suspension. So we have a spring mount up here. Our leaf springs, properly mounted and secured. There's none missing. They're not bent. They're not shifted in any way. Our spring hanger in the back, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. All the bolts are in place. Our shock absorber, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, not leaking. And our U-bolts, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no missing hardware. For our brake system, we have our hose, brake air hose, properly mounted and secured, not cut, cracked, or frayed, no audible leaks. All the fittings are in place. Brake chamber, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no audible leaks. Clamp is in place. Our push rod, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. The clevis pin with the cotter key is present. Our slack adjuster, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no more than 1 inch of play with the brakes released. Our brake lining, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no less than 1/4 inch of pad. Our brake drum itself, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, no holes or dents, and no contaminants or debris such as oil. Okay, our inside and outside sidewalls are in good condition. There is no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or bumps. It is properly mounted and secured inside and out. Our tread has even wear across all grooves, and there's a minimum of 4 30-second tread depths in each groove. Our rims, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. No illegal holes or welds. Our lug nuts with the bolt holes behind are properly mounted and secured. The bolt holes are not out of round, and there's no cracks radiating from those holes. Our lug nuts we know are on tight because there's no shiny threads or rust that would indicate looseness. There's none missing. Our hub with the oil, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It's not leaking, and I would check my oil level by pulling that cap off. Our metal valve stem and cap, properly mounted and secured, not broken, cracked, or damaged, not missing. And that's where I would put a tire pressure gauge to make sure I was at the proper air pressure.